Those Lacking Spines by Organization 6, Chapter 5, Anything But Ordinary. The unofficial official motto of Organization 13, much like the Scouts, was be prepared. A lot of strange things happen in the place between darkness and light. His Zemus instructed every one of his followers to be ready for absolutely anything. As such, it was difficult to startle an organization member for any reason. All 13 of them carried themselves as much as they expected a chainsaw-wielding serial killer to leap out from behind every corner, giant meteors to crash down upon them from every direction, and the world itself to implode in a giant fireball in any second. Their reflexes were insanely fast, and they were quick on the uptake. They could salvage their way out of sticky situations faster than MacGyver. Faster than MacGyver? You could spring any number of insane obstacles in their paths, only to be met with a shrug, and oh well, and then a severe beating of your ass. This explains the rather unusually calm reaction Saladin, Vexen, and Lexus exhibited upon finding out that the missing number 12 of their organization, Larxene, had just turned up in a horrifying backwater world of Phantom Hearts. Except, she wasn't exactly herself, and seemed to have been turned into some kind of an obnoxious original character with big poofy hair and a rather nastier disposition than before, if you can Phantom such a thing. So, let me get this straight. Lexus said under his breath to his two compatriots, "That's Larxene?" "But it's not!" Vexen took his head. "In this world, Larxene has been replaced by one of the godforsaken locals." "So it's not Larxene?" "No, as far as this world is concerned, Larxene never existed. Rather, she never existed, so to speak. But here, she never did exist, Vexen stumbled for a proper way to explain his theory. "So, that woman is taking Larxene's place?" Saladin cut in. "So it is Larxene." "It was Larxene! At some point, I think." Vexen hated to admit it, but this was the strangest thing he had ever had to deal with. And that included the time Marluxa was cleaning his dead herb garden and accidentally dumped a runoff into the castle's water supply, causing half the organization to zone into psychedelic hallucinations for the week. Like staring this guy with diamonds. "I don't know. Should we just ask?" "We probably ought to, rather than kill her outright to only learn it is Larxene." Saladin sighed heavily. "If your boys are done over here, I've got some ass-kicking for you!" Lester said shrilly. "Pardon me, madam." Lester spoke up. "Before we begin into the savagery, I was wondering if we might discuss your origins in a friendly manner. Just one nobody to another." "You think I'm hot?" Zoe Sal giggled insanely and struck what must have some thought its seductive pose. "I don't see how that's relevant," Lysis replied lamely. "What the hell are you?" Vexen was in such a less of a mood for Zuxel's creepy mind games. "You idiots! I already told you," Zuxel huffed, holding her maze's staff menacingly. "I'm Zuxel! I'm number 12 of Organization 13! "Larxene is number 12, you pathetic wannabe!" Saladin snarled. "Ha! Maybe she was!" Zuxel grinned wickedly, holding her back-gloved hands in dramatic fashion staring at him. "But that hateful woman doesn't exist anymore. My brilliant master captured her and erased her from the face of existence!" "Non-existence," Lexus corrected. "Oh, right, non-existence!" Zyle cackled. "When your castle came under attack by my master's gutless brethren, she was immune to the parasite, having no—" "You know!" "She escaped in a gummy ship and tried to cross over to bury the Phantom Hearts to stop us, but my charming and wonderful master captured her and used this beautiful machine on her." "A machine? Of what sort?" Vexen had flipped up his notebook to write down all the exposition. "It's a magnificent machine that transforms people into badass, awesome, and obnoxiously flawless creatures. The XX Marley Dono Crescent Flower has been employing it for some time to make the perfect gutless. As you can see, he's getting closer and closer." Cecil sneered and motioned to Jefferoff, who was standing off to the side, striking a maniacal pose and spouting out some more dramatic monologues. His chorus stood off to the bushes, taking a water break. "So, Marluxia Seme is behind those horrific Mary Sue gutless." Unless his eyes narrowed, seemed to be bracing himself for the impending fight. I suppose you're one of his creatures too, the next step up. No, please, Cecil crackled. Just right here, one wing. Wait, no, two one-winged companion. Maybe you don't understand. I'm not a third-rate Tokyo character like this loser. Sephiroth is not a loser. Sephiroth attacked furiously. Sephiroth! Right, whatever. Cecil waved him off. I am not an original character. In this world, I am canon, baby! That bitch like Sorry and I are not the same person. She's been blinked out of existence, and my beloved master put me in her place. But why? Saladin asked incredulously. You people don't bother replacing the other members of our organization you don't like. You just made their personalities beyond recognition and ignore them completely to fit your needs. Why go to all that trouble replacing her when you can find some other way to bend her to your will? Zeldin, it's Lexine we're talking about. Zaxxon reminded him in a very weary voice that spoke of many fan attempts to bend Lexine to his will. And not like that either! Good point. Nevertheless, Lexine still had his fierce gaze locked on the imposter nobody. As he pulled his tomahawk off the ground, Lexine is our comrade in arms, and I will not stand for what you've done to her. In the name of the real Organization 13, prepare to die. I think not, Zuxo cackled and swirled her mace staff around her, swirling up a shower of lightning and a rumble of thunder beneath her feet. Until too close to achieving my dream. Let you fool stop me now! What dream? Vexen asked, sewing up his shield. Why, the dream I have held since the moment I was first born into this world as a nobody. Zuxo sighed, posing dramatically, staring at the sky again. She clasped her hands together over what would be her heart. Looking closely, one might have done sparkles from her by. Do tell us. I'm morbidly curious. Saladin had carried her, calling down 3 of his lances. Cecil brushed floating strands of corn-soaked blonde hair from her face, battered her great purple eyes, pursed cherry lips, and lifted a milk-white hand to her licorice black leather coat. I will finally get to be with him. She sighed, a veritable produce island facing the daydreaming. I hate to say it, but Mary Luisa isn't interested in you unless you're a flower or under 16. Vincent interrupted snidely. Fix it. That is no way to discuss one of our colleagues. Lexus said, glaring at with disapproval. You, not Mary Luisa. Cecil looked down and appalled at the very thought. I'll sleep with anything girlier than me. Nobody girlier than her? That narrows it down. Saladin got something. Seeing the other two, simultaneously took a step back away from the imposter. And not you, three! Cecil groaned in disgust. It was a come from the courtyard. Sephiroth is flattered, number 12. But Sephiroth is dedicated to exerting his non-specific revenge on a non-specific number of innocent humans. Sephiroth cut in. And Sephiroth does not want to become the victim of a large cards group of internet nerds who like to draw him pregnant and female. He's going to stay nice, single, and very, very asexual. Sephiroth! Sang the choir. Why are you speaking in the third person all of a sudden? Les is staring in bemusement and wonderment at the gutless. The frustrated Sexcel screamed in range and clenched their fists. No, you idiots! Axel! I'm talking about Axel! There was a brief pause before Saladin laughed. Oh dear. What is it? Lysias was still trying to figure out the mystery of Sephiroth's syntax. Her name. Saladin pointed out. Kind of anagrams that Aldi is members of the organization. Take out an X, and it spells Axel Slut. Axel Lust, thank you very much! Oh my god, it does! Says so correct highly. But yes, that's right. Now that I'm a member of Organization 13, I'll finally have a chance to win the love of my Princess Pinhead, Emerald Horn, Starkey Angel, and Black Hood Hotness! My flurry of the Dancing Flames, my number 8, my Axel! A noble pursuit there was one. Sephiroth commented with a nod. So let me get this straight. Sounds like clearness so after a moment of silence. You destroyed a member of Organization 13, then allow yourself into this world. You are transforming innocent locals into pale, idiotic shades of their former selves. You're betraying your fellow organization members by assisting the group trying to sabotage them and bring about the downfall. Are you doing this because you are in love with number 8? Zixel sighed serenely, wearing her eyeglasses. Marley Dole promised. He said we'll fall in love and get married and have little nobody babies. If I prove myself strong enough, there's no way Axel will continue to ignore me and fail to announce my existence. Non-existence, corrected Alexis. Oh yes, non-existence, she recovered. In any case, you fools do not understand the course of my action. I may be betraying the organization, but it's only a matter of time before I finally win my place in Axel's... Vixen had honestly been silent for the last few moments, but the period would not remain no longer. There was a V sweat on his brow. His eyes were as narrow as they could possibly get. His juice was cleansed. He was gritting his teeth, as though holding back a finally explosive curses and angry words. He interrupted Zixel with a small grunt, only a warning of the fury that was about to come. Vixen, calm down. Alexis turned to him suddenly, recognizing the look on his face. I am calm. Vixen's lip twitched with seething, furious hatred. I'll stop what's getting worked up over. Vixen, sounds an ad. She's a silly fool who's been depressingly misinformed. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother me, Vixen hissed, turning to glare at his companions. Don't let it bother me? Have you taken a moment to think? A moment to even vaguely consider exactly what this imbecile is falling on about? Vixen, Alexis said again, tone rising. Don't lose your temper. Madam. Vixen snapped suddenly, Zixel pointing at her. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes this instant. What? Zixel crossed her arms and complied. Got a bone to pick with me? Look at me in the eyes. Are you looking? Do we have eye contact? Can you see the expression on my face? Vixen lowered his shoulders to his eyes. You can? Good. Now let's see. Where to begin? Oh yes. Zixel's eyes bugged out of her head as Vixen exploded to a vicious tirade. The tirade of a scientist whose entire life and unlife's work had been disregarded in the name of creepy Whispermillet. We don't have hearts! We do not have hearts! There is but one rule in the Nobody Code Book regarding the definition of a nobody, and that rule is nobodies do not have hearts! You are not capable of falling in love with Axel, nor is he capable of falling in love with you. Because falling in love is an emotion, and emotions are born in the heart. And as I have underlined numerous times, we do not have hearts! But he makes me feel like I have... Zixel began to stammer, eyes wide and voice tiny. Don't you give me that shit! Vixen screams. The operative term is like. Feel like you have a heart, but you don't, because you are a nobody, and nobodies do not have hearts! Any emotions that you may think you are detecting now are in a physical sense only. I am clearly not furious out of my mind, because your utterly disregard for any sort of logic besides your own desperate little illusions. I understand that I had a heart, and therefore am capable of feeling emotions. I would be completely erased at your stupidity. Therefore, I behave as though I am erased and about to choke the life out of you in order to mask the fact that I am a nobody. You do not seem to understand this fact, making your pathetic rantings and ravings and moronic behaviors absolutely inescapable. And furthermore, I hate it when he gets like this. Let's just sigh for nearby. It can't be worse than the time some point suggested that Reno was Axel's other. Salden reminded him. Oh yes, he was beside himself. It took a week to get him out the ceiling. Let's just recall Kai. Furthermore, Vixen wasn't done yet. So furious that he was beginning to glow in icy aura. Nobodies are not born by judicial means. They are created, and therefore it is not possible for a nobody to have babies. You thick-headed dolt! It's usually at this point in the story that some wonderfully smug reader decides to open up his or her email client and begin a long, profanity-laced letter to the author with a long bulleted list of every single little piece of science of nobodies that she got wrong and that the reader's own theories on the game, including helpful citations to point to the game script that discuss such things. Those are normally usually lines like, if you would bother to pay attention to the part where, and I have played the game 9 times and I can tell you that. So at this point, the author would like to ask the readers to accept a few liberties he may have taken, and would feel like popping off a pretentious email to prove her wrong, so she suggests that they take a deep breath and remind themselves that they are about to get up in arms impressing about science in a video game. I just want to say, You Kingdom Hearts fans know the joke, right? You know what makes this funnier in hindsight, right? We find out that nobodies do grow hearts. They do, in fact, have hearts. That was a lie created by Sedmus. So, basically, Vexen here is in the wrong. I don't want to tell him that because I'm afraid I'm going to have to listen to his rant. But still. The narrative break conveniently skipped over Vexen's very own prophetic laced tirade on the size of nobodies and returns us to the part where Zuxel, shamed and enraged as a fear harassing her dreams and dust received, took a few steps back from our heroes and glared at them. Enough! She screamed. No more talk. It's time for the three of you to suffer the same fate as your comrades. We will take your... your Simmons will be helpless to obey the Grandmaster's fangirl command. I assure you, madam, watching your tent would be most entertaining, sounded Smo. Or perhaps, she smiled, perhaps I will capture you and present you to my master Marlito as a trio of new experiments. You too could come into this world replaced by new existences. Ones that would not be so adamantly against our plans! We are going to kill you now. Vexen was still red-laced and quite in the mood for some ass-kicking. Your attempt will be most entertaining, said some mocked out his voice, and extended a graceful hand to point at them. Sephiroth, deal with those three! Yes, number 3. Sephiroth cackled maniacally and drew out a 7-foot-long samurai katana. Black feathers and sparkles flying through the air around him, and eyes glowing the same red as sanguine, and also blood. Sephiroth! Said the choir, I'm going back to check on our master. Sexel huffed and raised the portal to darkness to step into. After all that trauma, you're not even going to fight us yourself? Mrs. Sass raising an eyebrow. I wouldn't dirty my hands on the likes of you. Sexel sneered and stepped through the portal. Once back inside the mansion, Number 12 let out a horrified girlish screech and then burst into tears. Lightning and thunder filled the halls and exploded her as Zuxel ran towards the master chamber, with her face buried in her hands, piling over boards of inattentive guards on her way. Her not exactly a heart ached with the pain of Vex's cruel words. She was creating a rainstorm of tears as he headed for a word with Marley Dono. She skidded to a halt outside the master chamber, ignoring the polka-dot girl that held up the doorknob. Banged on the door with a fist and sobbed. Master! Master Marley Dono! I must speak with you! Have you secured the machine? She turned the doorknob and stepped in. Are you a master? Ah! Rub those back legs. Oh, yes. You're a dirty little humpy. Ah! Zuxel, can you see I'm busy? Marley Dono hissed fiercely, throwing his pink remote control to the ground. Do you remember the rule we discussed when I created you? About the girl on the door? But, Superior, I thought it was a scrunchie. Zuxel guessed and heart covered her eyes, now crying for a different reason. When there is a scrunchie on the door, XX Marley Dono, Crimson Wildflower, and XX is busy playing dress up. But when there's a girl on the door, XX Marley Dono, Crimson Wildflower is busy watching his special videos! Marley Dono huffed, going to show his icky female assistant just how pissy he made him. I'm sorry, sir. It will happen again. Zuxel sobbed and turned away from the big TV screen, showing a video what appeared to be a very close-up view of a bee pollinating a flower. What?! Yes, well, make sure it doesn't. Marley Dono zipped up his really pink coat show on TV. Have you finished dealing with those fools outside yet? Not yet, sir. I have Sephiroth taking care of them as we speak. Zuxel whimpered, wiping her eyes. I thought I told you to do it. Marley Dono groaned. Serious, Zuxel. Can you ever follow orders? What am I going to do to you? Well, sir, I did. I was going to fight them, but one of them, she blubbered, bursting into tears all over again. He said that Axel could never love me because we don't have hearts. Marley Doll cracked his head slightly. Oh, he did, huh? Well, is it true? She sobbed. Is it true that my dream will never be realized? That Axel and I can never be together? That we can't have a bunch of little cute little nobody babies that named Atomics, Bombix, Cerebrix, and Charlinix? Well, Marley Doll twisted a finger in his pink hair and grinned sheepishly. Maybe. Then you lied to me. Cecil gasped in melodramatic horror. You said if I helped you make it so Axel and I could be together. I'm working on it, honey. Marley Donut groaned, tossed his head, waving her off with a flick of the wrist. You've already seen what I can do given the proper materials. I'm sure we can work and make it possible, Sora. Sora? Cecil was shocked. You don't have a heart, honey. Marley Donut reminded her tearfully. It kinda comes with the territory. But, don't worry about it now. I think we gotta deal with those hot, sexy little organizations with screens before they ruin our entire operation. Do you think that big Brian one will look at a pair of these? Yes, holding up a catalog of men's lingerie. I like these little red ones. They really bring out the color of his hair. You. It's for that little brave boy. He just got the prettiest blue eyes, doesn't he? I was thinking green for him. It really helped if we did something with that lovely hair, too. You don't care. Marley turned over his catalog to see Suxel interference and also break down in the doorway. I'll never be able to make my dream come true. And you promised you'd help me, Suxel sobbed. And you lied to me. You don't even care. How could you? How could you do this to me? An explosive falsetto chilly sobs. She turned on her heels and sped down the hall in the opposite direction, screeching and wailing and sending out miniature lightning storms, and nearly creating quite a tantrum. God, what a baby, Darling Dono said distastefully, turning back to his catalog. Not that he could really blame her. On second thought, because Axel had such a tight, cute little ass, no matter what Sephiroth brought him to 3 defeated nobodies, did the fun could really begin. The question is, did Vexen look better in a blue or a leopard print? Back in the garden, Sephiroth was engaged in a fierce battle with all 3 of the nobodies, doing quite well in holding his own, despite the unbelievable disadvantage he was in. Unfortunately, a 7-foot katana, while cool-looking and certainly intimidating, is not all that practical for a battle. Sephiroth was able to attack with it, mostly by spinning around in a circle with his arms stretched out and hoping it would nick Saladin, Vexus, or Lysis enough to make them give up their unceasing barrage of wind, earth, and ice and stabbing type attacks. His 1-2 wings flapped in the air behind him. His hair rustled majestically in the breeze, and his choir was doing an admirable job of keeping up with the battle and changing the pace of the song accordingly. You 3 ought to be trembling at my power. Trembling, do you hear? Sephiroth yelled viciously, taking a break from his onslaught. Greater men than the likes of you have trembled at my power. You will tremble, or you will die. Lysis headed his tomahawk over his shoulder to take a breather, spitting out Sephiroth's immense reach. Unfortunately, young man, we have taken precautions to avoid trembling at your pathetic power. There are none who can avoid trembling at my power. None. No man alive, not one. No man can avoid trembling at my power. Sephiroth cried redundantly, holding his sword straight up above him in dramatic fashion. I am the black wind that angles in the... There he goes again! Saladin sighed heavily, recalling his lances. Lysis groaned. I would be much more mightily impressed with his fighting abilities if he would stop taking breaks to spew out poetry. The spire that hangs down at your neck. They created me for one purpose, the sole purpose of... Perhaps you ought to introduce in another huge ironic boulder, Lysis, Vexus suggested, letting his shield hang down his side. It worked so well last time. Blood, blood, bloody, says as far as the eye could see. Every inch of the battlefield covered in corpses as they known as the fury of Sephiroth, and littered their fields with bodies. I don't know, Lysis sighed. It takes a lot of energy to summon such a thing so quickly. This seems one is so much stronger than the monstrosity we ran into earlier. The gaping maw of the black beast of death, crossing its claws into your liver, and ripping and holding and licking the blood, feeding your hatred. Saladin took a moment to pause to consider their options, keeping his eyes on the beautiful flowing veil of silver silk that was Sephiroth's hair. Oh! Are you listening to me? Sephiroth defended, stepping right in the middle of his favorite sonnet about death, blood, and sanguine, too. Only seen as intended feeling victims, and apparently seemed to be discussing something calmly amongst themselves. You dare to downplay the fury of Sephiroth's mighty poetry. You dare to turn your heads away from him as he reaches his most glorious majesty. You dare to get on with it! Our three heroes yelled simultaneously. Most of their half-relief, half-chagrin. Sephiroth seemed to really like he was finally getting on with it. A dark glow surrounded him. His eyes intensified, their blood red, and also sanguine color. He began to float a few feet off the ground. Very well then. Sephiroth is leveling into his second form. Sephiroth screamed. The choir was sung out their usual echo, but they were busy moving around the bushes to make room for a 100-piece symphonic orchestra. And Norbo Yurimatsu, Sky, diving out of a nearby helicopter to conduct the 1-2 winged Angel Sephiroth's second level teardrop, Angel's Blood, and also Sanguine Sanctuary Sleep Mercury. You know, I still totally believe Noboru Iematsu would actually skydive out of a helicopter to do this. Because he's awesome. Sephiroth, in the meantime, clothed his entire body in waves of black magic that ebbed and flowed every inch of him, throwing off an unearthly black glow that was slowly transforming into Sephiroth's second mode. It was mesmerizing, a complicated process that would take 6 months alone for the programmers to animate in full FMV mode. Oh, hell, not a second form. This could be very difficult, Lysa said in a voice that suggested he didn't really believe so. Yes, I am inclined to believe he is all talk, Vexen said. Indeed. Saladin had settled down on a convenient park bench to watch the 4-hour animation sequence to its face Sephiroth leveled up. I have a rather good idea as to how to get rid of this nuisance for good. Do tell! Vexen settled down next to him. Lysa joined him a moment later, having fed 3 refreshing fruit smoothies from a nearby concession stand for a long wait. Dear Diary, you took my heart and saved me right from the start. You showed me dreams. I wish they turned real. You broke a promise and made me realize it was all just a lie. Cecil looked at the pen from paper and regarded her palm with a starting eye. Quite proud of the mystery she inflicted it, until she realized it was actually the chorus of the song Angels by Within Temptation, currently playing on loop in her iPod. Wait, do I even have that song? Damn! She stood up and threw her diary against the wall in a fury, followed shortly by her iPod, before she realized what she was doing. It took only seconds of staring at the broken audio components on the floor for Cecil to design her own course of action. Her and Asshole could never truly be. She had been deceived by a very, very flaming shell of a nobody. He manipulated her to do terrible things and betraying her own organization. She was incapable of writing her own poetry, and the $400 iPad lay shattered on pieces on the ground. Zuxel could not go on like this. She rose wearily and grumbled dramatically down the hallway, eyes blankly staring straight ahead, her blonde curls faintly wispy into her face. Tearsless stains on her cheeks as she made her way to the grand staircase and headed down to the basement room where she cursed her master. That fruity bastard Marley-Dono had brought her to existence. And it wasn't even her own existence. It wasn't even existence! What kind of cruel world was it where a girl as beautiful and powerful as Zuxel could be taken advantage of by a wicked, whatever he was, that Marley-Dono? What kind of cruel world would she be denied the one thing she wanted, oh so desperately, more than anything else in the world? Thoughts of Axel danced in her head, and Zuxel threw open the door to the basement room, which rested her transformation pod. She remembered miserably the first time she woken up here. The pod door opening, Marley-Dono standing above her, welcoming her into his new world. Her absolute disbelief that a guy could be that swishy and not be a woman. It must have been 10 minutes she sat there, staring at the pod, unutterably feeling sorry for herself. Her attention was only broken when she glanced at the security monitor off to the right, where Sephiroth could be seen in the throes of his 20-minute leveling up animation. One of the cameras barely included the silhouettes of the 3 organized season members. Zuxel sighed wistfully, drowning in self-pity and loathing at their heartless betrayal. Heartless. Oh dear God, the eggs! It was too much! I must only upgrade, Zuxel muttered to herself, looking towards the pod, and puzzling new corners on the core panel. I must upgrade. I will become the first nobody with a heart. Yes, I'll give myself a heart that cannot be broken, unlike this unheart. She took a moment to ponder the logic there. Then she took it off and went back to work. I will show them. I can have a heart. I will fall in love. I will fall in love! Zuxel reached for a big red lever that Marley-Dono had told her never, ever, ever to touch. Certainly the lever that saw a heart to her next incarnation. She would not be born an ordinary nobody ever again. The door to the pod slid open, and Xuxo carefully stepped back in, strapping her arms and legs down accordingly, leaning her head to take a deep breath. In your face, Marley Dono! I will break free of your lies. You're so satisfied, I don't need... Well, damn. That was I want to break free by Queen. I will learn to write my own poetry! Xuxo fell triumphantly as the door to the pod closed and sealed shut. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the mansion, Marley Dono was about to return calmly to his special movie time when he received a rather angry message via satellite TV link from somebody on a far-off world. Also scary, very, very much. I knew I should have let this operation to you, you pig-head pots! Thanks to you, I'm Project Mary Sue's backed up until we can replace the hordes of applicants that those 3 sucks leveled! I'm sorry, Grandmaster Fangirl, Marley Dono sobbed, twisting his hair around his fingers nervously. It's true there have been a few setbacks, but please, give me another chance! The question is whether I feel you really deserve another chance. Marley Dono. I've wasted far too much of my time and resources trying to cover up your numerous mistakes. Oh, honey, you don't mean that. Of course I deserve another chance. Marley Dono was scandalized. Look what I made. Look at Jeffroff. He's an example of what Project Mary Sue could bring to our ranks. Please, give me another try. Riddle me this, then. You better get it up in your suspicious old nonsense. Outside, about to tear through your precious Jeffroff, as a trio of ugly-ass organization members that set up ruining my plans. What do you do? Please, tell me, what do you do? Well, I was thinking if we could implement Plan X. Marley Dono spoke up silently. A chord of mag music blasted out now nowhere. It's actually Jeffroff's orchestra outside warming up, but pretend we didn't know that. Plan X. Master Fangirl gasped. Another chord. Yeah, I know it's risky and all, but ooh, can you imagine how awesome it would be if it worked? Marley Dono giggled. Marley's eyeglasses of joy at the very thought. Rows and rows of them, all shining and beautiful. Very well. I'll implement Plan X for you. But listen to me well, Marley Dono. This is your last chance. I brought your beautiful gutless ass into this world, and I can take it right back out. Are we clear? Crystal, honey, Crystal. Marley Dono clapped his hands together excitedly. Imagine the most evil, unscrupulous, sadistic, and cruel villain from any book, movie, TV, video game, or TV show you like. Go ahead, picture him, or her very clearly in your head. Add wings. Lots of wings. 3 sets of wings. An angel's, a demon's, and a fairy's. Add 1 more wing that slipped in by mistake. A shiny rainbow-colored feathery one that might be found on a more exciting species of parrots. Add leather. Lots of leather. Black leather. Yards of it. Tight and constricting, wrapping every inch of skin that isn't otherwise covered by chains and spikes. Add hair. Lots of hair. Yards and yards of it. Long and silky, all the way down to the floor, wrapped around the ankles 3 or 4 times, so that way it strangles poor innocent woodland creatures trying to scurry there on their way home. We were talking some badass looks. Add sparkles, an unearthly evil glowing aura of darkness. Add a little rain cloud overhead that spews down a constant shower of blood and tears. Add 100-piece orchestra, a full choir, pyrotechnics displayed, and Nobel Universal conducting. They have vaguely of what Sephiroth's second form, Sephiroth Square, Sephiroth Redux, Sephiroth 2, Electric Boogaloo. He is so badass that his spot was folded. And now you shall learn, and you shall fear. You shall earn to fear the wrath of Sephiroth. He cackled maniacally. Sephiroth! The choir with orchestral company sang. Saladin sipped the last of his strawberry banana coconut green smoothie and tossed the cover to a nearby trash bin. Standing up and stretching. All right, gentlemen, time to get down to business. His lances appeared in his hands and floated around him as the day he had before. Like we had discussed, Lexus mumbled under his breath, recalling his tomahawk. Deep concentration! Lexus stepped back a few yards away from the others, began to focus his energy onto one half. Are you fools ready to face me down? Ha 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 ha! Sephiroth laughed, drawing his 7-foot sword once again. We have battled before, but that was only warm-ups. You cannot comprehend my strength, and the strength you would have to defeat me. I will send all 3 of you back into darkness of oblivion, where you belong. Let's see. Saladin glanced at Lexus. Let's attempt maneuver 35, shall we? Let's. Alexis slammed his tomahawk down to the ground, and the entire courtyard began to rumble from the force. The rumbling continues until the earth beneath them seemed to be boiling and turning. Covering through the grass and giving rise to a thick layer of sand and rocks and stones. Saladin lifted one of his lances to the sky, and the wind rumbled and turned into a great cyclone, round and round, drawing leaves from nearby trees to his roaring grip, and soon lifting the sand and rocks as well. Fixit kneeled down, placed his hands on the ground. The fortress then became a sandstorm, spin wildly out of control, lifting high towards the sky. My testament to his abilities of organizations numbers 3 and 5. Pitiful! You expect me to be held back by something so foolish as a sandstorm? I will cleave your pathetic sandstorm in half, and you will know the fear! Sephiroth! Sephiroth! The choir began a chorus circle. Sephiroth flapped all 7 wings and lifted himself high in the air, almost as high as the sandstorm reached, and began to focus his energy. Lifted his sword up behind him and prepared a mighty lunge, waiting until his choir got to the most dramatic part of the song to do. Get ready. Alexis wobbled down on the ground. Saladin nodded, still busy keeping out the cyclone in the most turbulent. And faster than you can say Kamehameha, or Mana Mana, or Dada. Sephiroth did a triple twisted backflip handspring, circled the air, getting soaring down like a hawk, all the way down to the ground, effortlessly slicing through the sandstorm. Chunks of rock and earth and gusts of wind flew in all directions as the storm came down by, crashing down the courtyard in dramatic swoosh. Sephiroth started to compose in midair, cocking maniacally as his storm cloud rained blood and his choir kicked into overdrive. It was time for the techno remix. You stupid foolish fools! You foolishly thought you could fool Sephiroth, you fools! So much for your Princess Maneuver 35! I will now tear you asunder. He spun around to take a mighty chop out of our 3 heroes with his giant sword, but found, for some odd reason, his head could not spin as gracefully and threateningly as before. He turned his head as hard as he could see to his side, and quickly found out why there was a sound of a large clink, followed by a thud. All 9 or so feet of Sephiroth's luxurious, badass locks of silver hair lay frozen in a giant chunk of ice on the ground beneath him. The 10 or 7 seconds of posing and threats since he had landed from his mighty demonstration against Saladin and Alexis' sandstorm. Fixit had made his move and promptly forced the Cutlass's hair into a long, badass block of ice. The unfortunate thing about badass locks is that, as badass as they are not immune to the weaknesses of regular hair. And that includes the weakness that is proneness for snapping them into a frozen solid block of ice. As he dented him to a turns, chucking in the head. Sephiroth stared in absent heart as his battle axe upon the ground. Then up at the 3-7 nobody's who were responsible. Oh my God! My hair! Sephiroth screamed. A shrill, horrible sound, and fell immediately to the ground on his knees, clutching the broken strands and shrieking, "No, no, it can't be! Not! Say it ain't so! It can't be! This is a bad dream! It must be horrible! A terrible, terrible dream! Sephiroth! No, no! Shut up, you idiots! Can't you see this is an emergency?" Sephiroth turned to his choir, reiterates, "My hair! It's ruined!" Good shot, Vixen. Saladin congratulated him, catching his breath at the strain of holding the cycle for so long. "Thank you, Saladin." Fixit adjusted his gloves and looked to the ground, very proud of himself. I didn't really think he'd get so worked up about his hair. Alexis says he wants to sobbing Sephiroth, trying as hard as he could to reattach the 9-foot mask back to his head. It's almost a little sad. Had to be. Saladin rolled his eyes. "Look at me! I'm hideous! Look!" Sephiroth howled, standing up and clawing the back of his head. "I'm no silent wind of doing this! I have nothing to be feared or even remotely nervous of with this short hair." "Oh no, we're not frightening you at all," Fixit enunciated. "Long hair, oh yes, perhaps, but that terrible crew cut you have now." "I must end my shame," Sephiroth said numbly, tearing his blade on himself to commit seppuku. Unfortunately, a 7-foot-long katana, while badass and certainly intimidating, it's just not all that practical for seppuku. What followed was a 10-minute display of Sephiroth trying in vain to impale himself on a sword that was taller than he was, in full view of his choir and Noburo Uematsu. Saladin, Fixit, and Alexis looked on from nearby, terribly amused. It appeared Sephiroth would be busy for a very long time. Well then, after that dramatic display, my vote is that we head inside to deal with Muralex's Seme. Lysa suggested. A very good suggestion. Let's be honest, Saladin began, but paused as there was suddenly a flash of light that brought a new silhouette to the courtyard. What the hell is that? The glow around the silhouette dissipated, and the newcomer slowly stood up, holding up his hand to reveal a sparkling golden keyblade. A keyblade! Faison said nervously, taking a few steps for constant's sake. That's right, the newcomer said. He lifting his head to reveal sparkling white teeth, a heroic grin, and a gutless tattoo that had only seconds ago appeared on his torso. My name is Kane Bakiyaru! Kane Bastard? A second silhouette flashed down and joined in the hesitance. Crawled out a moment later, called, My name is Raven Ikarapayochi! Suki Sugafuku! Yelled the third silhouette from the garden shed. Turbo Habaya! The fourth silhouette shouted. Confident voices drowned out at least 400 names. And soon, there were 404 keyblades lifting up in the air above them, and 404 voices shouting, And as the keybearer, I will destroy you! On the top floor of the mansion, peering out the window was Marissa, laughing hysterically how beautiful the information of Plan X really was. Well, shit, Saladin said appropriately as he, Faison, and Lexus positioned back to back in the middle of the courtyard, keeping an eye on the advancing hordes of key bearers. We'll just have to fight them off, Lexus growled. I'm exhausted from my cyclone, Saladin said quickly. I need a toss to recover. There's too many! Faison hissed in frustration, and I don't care if they're real keyblade bearers or not. On this world, they might as well be. We'll not be giving up this easily, Saladin snapped, breathing heavily to try to recover as quickly as he could. The organization says never die. Die, 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 you sons of bitches! There rose a sudden gasp among the key bearers, as suddenly great numbers of them began to explode into sizzling tongues for no apparent reason. Thunder and lightning rained from the heavens at great bursts, combusting groups of helpless key bearers gruntless right and left. What is that? The last thing we need, another Mary Sue? No, worse, Larkson said with a smirk, gesturing out towards the doorway of the mansion, as Lark screamed. Indeed, the organization's number 12. Savage Nymph was back to her most savage and nymphious. She stood on the porch of the mansion, clutching at great bolts of thunder and lightning, her face contorting in a look that could be translated into pure and seething hatred. Son of a bitch, bastard, dare you scream at me? I'll kick your asses and take your names! She shrieked, taking the opportunity to impale a few of the gutless near her, while handfuls of kunai. Saladin, Faison, and Lysis watched in abject horror for a moment, musing over the brutality of the sole female member of Organization 13, wondering how in the hell she could have gotten over her episode at Suxel so quickly. They then decided that they were musings for another time, and proceeded to beat the living crap out of every gutless in reach. To make a long story short, in no time at all, the Keybearer and Army and Plan X had been laid to waste. Lysa reunited with her brethren in the middle of the courtyard, taking the opportunity to fix her hair. Hello, boys, she said in the voice of a woman who had not just murdered several hundred annoying teenagers. How's crimes? Significantly more violent all of a sudden, Saladin replied without missing a beat. What happened? Faison gasped in shock. How did you restore yourself? Zugcel had taken your place by some means I don't even understand. Oh, you mean that pod thing? Larcy shrugged. Not sure. All I know is I woke up and suddenly here I am, back where I belong. Tell me, you didn't actually think she had actually replaced me? Of course not, number 12. Lysis assured her. We would never think of replacing you. Good. Lysis smiled sweetly, and suddenly her face had darkened. Oh yeah, they're gutless things. I take it you three figured out what the hell's going on? We certainly have. We are in the process of repairing things as we speak. Saladin told her. Let's not press this here. But we understand you took some measures of your own before your untimely capture. Damn right I did, Larcy snapped. Damned if I care about most of yours, but I sure as hell ain't working well with a bunch of sobbing pansies, I can tell you that much. How nice of you, Faison said icily. There looks as Sammy's inside. Let's destroy and regard his, in order to place it back in the real Maralis's body. She explained. Whatever. When I said even had. Faison glanced over the side, twiddling his thumbs. Oh yes, I got a bone to pick with him. Marley Donald was in his basement lab, pacing back and forth and trying to figure out some way out of his scrape. Sexel had disappeared. Deverov was outside trying to appear himself. Plan X had failed miserably. The Grandmaster Fangirl was not returning his calls, and the choir and orchestra were demanding 7 more per hour than originally agreed upon. He fingered his lip, stretched out frizzy hair sadly, and lamented the death of a fine crop of manlocks. He also lamented the fact that the man who was the owner of those fine manlocks was also on the verge of death. He couldn't come up with a good idea real fast, or how to deal with 3 intruders. Stupid Sexel, where was she when he needed her? All he ever had to do with that dunce was point and say that Axel would be very proud of her if she did such and such, or had this or that done by whatever time that afternoon. There was just no kind of help with that gullible, brainwashed, terrified kind. Oh, Merluxa, or rather, Marley Dono. A long chill ran down Marley Dono's spine as he heard the basement door slam open. Swift footsteps down the stairs. It's nothing compared to the chill, however. He turned around to find Larxene facing him down as the 3 intruders watched from far, far away. The big beefy cute one was holding a glowing Tupperware disc for some reason. Marley Dono did not really want to contemplate. Larxene smiled sweetly and tightened her gloves. Been a while, hasn't it? A couple days at least since we last spoke. Marley Dono backed away as he could against his lab equipment and pulled a small spray bottle labeled Girl Repent, calling some of his few spritzes. Why, no! It must be serious to them, Miss Larxene. The time it seems. The man's face became very, very pale. What do you make this start, honey? Oh, my thoughts exactly. There was something incredibly dangerous lurking in Larxene's voice as he stepped towards him. Nowhere else to go, Marley Dono hopped up on the table behind him, looking left and right for some opportunity to escape. Sister, let's talk all this out nice and gentle, okay? Marley Dono smiled sweetly, very, very huffily. No, I don't think so, Larxene replied equally sweetly, good-eye forming between each of her fingers. Oh, come on! Marley Dono cried out, glancing behind Larxene to the 3 men on the other side. You sadistic bastards will leave me to a fate like this! Can't say you didn't particularly deserve it, Larxene said with a stride. Me, pets! Marley Dono bowed as Larxene made her slow approach. You, all 3 of you are me, pets, and homophobes! All 3 of them sighed heavily. We have been over that. Zaza touched his forehead, so he's getting a major headache. Larxene, if you would, I'd be happy to. No, please, not in the face! Don't worry. Several hours later. Our heroes are back aboard the GS-6 and once again drifting aimlessly through space on their way to Fandom Hearts. Saladin, Vexen, and Lexus were taking the time to relax before the next sanity testing world. Lexi had headed back towards the gummy ship she stole, and was on back her way to the world that never was as they spoke. Laura to keep an eye on things, and assist Axel in any picture taking that needed to happen. The insurgency would be jealous and up to the task. It was time for the heavy-handed, moralistic lesson of the story. On the bridge, Lexus sat with a Tupperware, watching us the 2 drifted aimlessly about within, occasionally bumping into each other, and each emitting a soft, almost entrancing glow. That world was less horrifying than I expected it to be, he admitted. Indeed, it's not so much horrifying as it is annoying, Vexen cut in. 9 times out of 10, they come looking for invocations of the people they know and love. It's frustrating to be constantly met with boring, trite, and unoriginal invocations of somebody's friends, or even themselves. All the worst of invocations are Mary Sue's. On the end, the city of Volsea is simply a world of wish fulfillment. There's nothing terribly wrong with wish fulfillment, after all, Saladin agreed, sitting in a nearby chair with his feet propped up on an instrument panel. What many do not realize is that when they post their own wish fulfillment publicly, it may not receive the warm welcome they are hoping it is, as it is a very personal thing. To go on whining and bitching about it only makes the genre as a whole more unbearable. Are you listening, my kid? They may create whatever they like, of course, Lexus added on, but they need to be prepared to face the facts and understand that what tickles their fancy and excites them may not apply to the hundreds or thousands of others that their worlds affect, unlike the common factors of the real invocations and characters that draw them to Fandom Hearts in the first place. Well said, indeed! Zaladin. Stacy crawled from the right side of his bedroom. Come back to bed. We're not out of the cream yet. There was a long moment of silence as three nobodies regarded each other. Who let her on here? Sal decided mentally, placing a hand on his forehead. I believe she may have written herself in. Lexus shrugged. I thought to deploy her for the airlock. Vixen said suddenly. No, I ought to deal with one myself. Saladin stood up and stretched, making his way to the door. I'll be in my bunk. Once he had gone, Vixen let out a disgust huff and set to go sip on autopilot. God, I hate fangirls. The TSX is senseless, drifted through the cosmos, quickly dancing a screaming body from the back of the airlock, but never ceasing his triumphant journey into the next world.